Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale on the home and kitchen niche. Created in June 2016, this business makes $6,540 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 44348. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. How are you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing great, Jake. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for taking the time to get on with me today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so before we get into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a quick summary of the business. Again, the business was built in June of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $20,314, expenses of $13,774 to make for a net profit of $6,540, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Amazon Seller Central account with product SKUs. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active depositors. Rob, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yes, Jake. My background started back when I was in high school, actually. When I'm like, you know what? I saw Amazon as a great opportunity to go start a business, as a platform to build off of, as something that'd be a good start for me in the business sector. And I just kind of took a massive deep dive into podcasts, into YouTube, into articles, learned as much as I possibly could, then said, you know what? I'm ready. And I went for my first inventory order 2 days after I graduated from high school. And basically, this has been my focus ever since then, putting all my time into growing my skills, along with growing the business, reinvesting the profits to where it is today.
So how does the business primarily make money?
Amazon FBA, that's the main sales channel, basically generating sales from people searching what we have to sell on Amazon.
So it's an Amazon-based business. Are there any other sources of revenue, or is that it?
It is purely Amazon-based, which gives an opportunity for someone to go build off Amazon, start taking those customers that have purchased and make the most of them. That wasn't my focus with the business. My focus was using to learn the skills of Amazon and really hone down on the skills. So I didn't focus on the off Amazon building of the business.
So why are you selling it today?
Yes, I am selling it because I feel like I built it to the point I got what I wanted to get out of it. And I am now transitioning to a couple projects, one being a software company, one being a consulting agency. Then down the road, I potentially want to launch another physical product brand, but that's probably later on down the road, later this year, early next year. But it's a little bit different focus on how I'm going to do it. And the thing is with that is I want to build something off Amazon as well, not just purely focused on Amazon. But I obviously want to put that into my marketing campaign. So how I structure the business, how I want to build it out is a little bit different than this one.
The business is seasonal, correct?
Yes, it is seasonal. It has a very high spike in October. One of the products is purely seasonal for the October. One of them is kind of like a March to September kind of seasonal, but then spikes really high in October. And if you look at the numbers, if June, July, August would have been fantastic months, but I had some issues with the shipper and my supplier, mostly the shipper, just in terms of getting inventory that should have been there and it wasn't there. And I didn't have the inventory in place, so I didn't have anything really to sell those months. Or else it would have been very similar to the month of May, I believe, April, May. And that trend would have continued into June, July, and August.
The issue that you had with the supplier, has that been worked out now?
Yes, it was mostly an issue with the shipper. I have not, like my supplier, the only thing I ran into so far with my supplier, very reliable, just Chinese New Year kind of caught me up now. But I mean, that's something very avoidable. Again, that's a little bit of planning on my end. In terms of inventory, they've been able to produce at basically the 30-day lead time. And it was just on my end to not have the inventory ready when I needed it. Then on a shipper end, it was something I needed to airship that took them way too long to airship it. And it's just an awful situation. But I have a trusted shipper I work with now who's produced awesome results for me, whether it be air shipping or sea shipping.
So now talking about how much time you're putting into the business, can you just kind of walk me through what you do to run the business on a week-to-week basis in, say, January, and then talk about you have to do to maintain the business during the peak time of October.
Yes. So the month of January, there was not much I had to do. This is something I personally do to keep on working is I will go and basically take like a listing every week and just rewrite it and tweak it and try to get better conversion rates. So that's something I personally try to do to always have the best conversion rates. Not necessary because they are very well written at the moment. So that's something you don't need to expect to do, but it's something I like to do to keep always working, always keep my skill sets fresh. Along with that, to check out the pay-per-click campaigns, just monitor those and optimize those, look to see what keywords are working, not working. Then just any customer service messages that come in. And I honestly get maybe 5 to 6 a week. So I haven't felt the need to go and outsource it because it's something where it's 5 minutes to respond to each one and doesn't take up a ton of my time. And I don't feel the need to go outsource it. That's something easily can outsource.
Now, what do you feel are some of the big opportunities for growth with the business?
Yes. So number one would be just expanding on the products on Amazon. So there's 4 different niches that the products are in. So basically you could go expand on each of those niches using the brand name, using the current products and building things that would be similar. Then there's the off Amazon expansion. One of the products is very conducive to wholesaling. So you could go build out a wholesale route, or you could go build out another B2C route, basically capturing the people who buy on Amazon and then turning them into customers for those products, which is why it would make sense to build some additional product so that you could sell them multiple stuff. And you'd have like 3, 4 products in each kind of like line that you'd be able to offer them. So that's really the big expansion points is a couple products in the niches on Amazon along with an off Amazon strategy. So building out a Shopify site, maybe it's wholesaling, whatever. There's some better into like a wholesale, something better into like building out a Shopify site. So just matters on the product.
When talking about the, expanding off of Amazon and talking about a Shopify site, and there's just so many opportunities for someone who has that skill set because they can kind of hit the ground running with that because they're, it's a clean slate and they can do what they want with it. There's a lot of opportunities there in terms of get a Shopify site made, start doing email marketing, improve the SEO with it, do content marketing, do Google AdWords, do Facebook, do other social medias. I mean, there's a lot of options for expanding off of Amazon.
Yep, absolutely. It's something that, again, I never went and really did because it wasn't a focus of mine, but the opportunity is there and someone has that skill set or wants to go start to learn that skill set. It's definitely there. They can definitely run with it and build that way.
So speaking to the seasonality of the business, that could potentially be seen, maybe risk is the wrong word, but I'm going to use that word. It could be seen as a risk that 11 months out of the year are going to be much lower than 1 month out of the year. How do you feel that, this business performs given that it's a seasonal business?
Yes. So it was a seasonal business. I also added 2 new products since then that have launched that are selling. They can still optimizing and still put some more work into them to keep on pushing them up. That's why I did go add those products versus selling right after the top season. And I held on a little bit longer and did some more work on it. So the one product is purely seasonal. Like it is only going to sell in the month of October. And I'll just be blunt. It's only going to sell in the month of October. The cool thing about that is, basically I need this amount of inventory because I sold, it was like 30 or 3,000 or 3,200 units last year, purely in the month of October, one of the products. And I actually got in kind of late on it, or else I feel I could have moved 4,000 to 5,000. Also, I made the mistake of I waited a little too long to ship it in. So I paid roughly about 5,000 extra for air shipping when I could have sea shipped it. And that cost can be cut by ordering in advance and sea shipping and bring the product cost down, adding to the bottom line. Go back to your concern about the seasonality of it. The one product purely is seasonal. But the thing about that is that, okay, I need X amount of units just to sell for this season. And that coming into it. It's like, that they will only sell in the month of October. So that's just one product. The other product that has that seasonality to it, it does have a very strong March into September, basically, where very consistent sales. during the months. I mean, last year before I ran out of inventory, I did 20,000 in revenue in one of those months, and that can be taken into June, July, August, so long there's inventory, which obviously I ran out of. So it makes it look a little bit more seasonal than it should be, because it should have that revenue to back it up and those sales to back it up. I just was, as a seller, made the mistake of not having the inventory, not planning, running into a few issues along the way, and not being able to have inventory into Amazon. So kind of going back to the question is, yes, you do realize that it has that seasonality to it, but one of the products will only sell during that season. The other one has a little bit longer life frame. And it's just, I've gone through it. I know I can give, here's how many units you should have in stock. So to be ready for those seasons, to maximize for those seasons. And yes, you'll probably carry heavier inventory during those seasons, or during that season, primarily the month of October. But going into it, you know that. And it's like, okay, these next couple months, we rev up for this month, crush it during that month. Then after that, November, December, January, February, you can kind of take a little step off the gas. You know what I mean? You can have that great month, take a little step off the gas. Then whether you want to take those profits and now put it into a new product line, you now have the time to go and do that, because you just had your biggest month. You have a nice chunk of profits that just came in. And now you can go use that little null time, the not so busy time, to now go and expand the business. So it can be seen as like something that could be negative, but you could also look at it as a positive of like, okay, you know what, let's rev up for this and use that time where we're not so busy to work on building out the other aspects of it.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good way of looking at it. And I mean, if October is always going to be a winner because this product that is selling in the month of October is a hit, I mean, there's no reason to think that, I mean, a big chance to mitigate that seasonality, that big peak, is to add to the product line, as you were saying, and to find other products to fill the void from October to October.
Exactly. It's, you know, that you're going to have this big month where you have this massive revenue, massive sales come in, very solid profit. Is now being like, okay, cool, let's take those profits and put them into new products or new lines. Or it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe we had this massive month. I don't know. Sellers gonna be like, maybe they love to ski. They're like, okay, we had this massive month. Let's go take the profits and let's go ski for 4 months. You know what I mean? Like, it all depends on the person and what they want to do with it. But I mean, if you want to have that lifestyle, it's like, okay, you know what? Let's go just build up, crush it, then go take a little break. You totally do that, and it would kind of be conducive for that person as well.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
I would commit to a non-compete for the specific products. But to be completely transparent, I'm consulting with brands on how to sell on Amazon, or basically selling their products on Amazon. So I'll commit to non-compete on the products and auxiliary stuff around it, very specifically auxiliary stuff around it. So I won't compete with anything that is included in the sale. That is the non-compete. I'm not putting a non-compete on Amazon. I'm not putting a non-compete for me or my agency to go not be able to sell on Amazon, but I will put a non-compete around the specific products and auxiliary products that we can come to terms with that are reasonable, that are reasonably around those products and those niches.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable thing to say. So now, talking about the transition period between the owners here, how much help do you want to offer the new owner? Would you commit to emails, Skype calls? What would you be willing to do?
Yes, I'm very open to helping with the transition, helping give the knowledge, helping just make sure that they get in the right space, making sure I convey what I learned, making sure I convey what I screwed up over the last year, what I learned, and basically helping convey that to them so they can avoid all that type of stuff, avoid the mistakes I made, avoid the pitfalls I made, and basically the positives I've also learned as well. So one thing I'm willing to do, and I'll be traveling a lot, so I don't know where I'll be. Probably won't be in the United States at the point. I'm willing to actually do like a 2-day mastermind. If they're up for flying me in, I'm totally willing to work with them for 2 days and basically break everything down, get it going for them, answer any questions, just take 2 full days and completely immerse them in it, give them knowledge if they need it. Then along with that, do 30 days, just email, Skype support, and help them out that way.
Are you open to discussing something like an earnout?
I would be. So long the terms work, it's reasonable on both ends.
Awesome. Rob, thank you so much for taking the time. I do have one final question for you. But before we get to that, I want to go ahead and run through the quick summary of the business again. The business was built in June of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $20,314, expenses of $13,774 to make for a net profit of $6,540, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Amazon Seller Central account with product SKUs. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Rob, could you, in your own words, give me your best 30-second pitch on why this is a business worth buying?
Yes, Jake. This is a business worth buying because it's something that has a ton of potential, a ton of basically potential that someone can build off of. They can use what's there and they can expand off of it. Also, it's built to the point where if they don't want to expand and they just want to run it how it currently is, that's also a possibility. If they just want to take it how it is and have it as a cash flow generator, they can do that, or they have the potential to go and expand. So whether they're just looking for something to generate cash flow or they're looking for something to go and build much bigger, it gives both those possibilities for the buyer.
Rob, I mean, it definitely seems like a business that is set in that one product selling every year in that time. And so the key opportunities that I see are expanding the product line so that during the months outside of October, you can still make a decent amount of money, but then also expanding outside of Amazon. So start a Shopify website, try to get on other marketplaces as well. I mean, those are the big opportunities that I see.
Yes, absolutely. Those are, if someone wants to grow, expand, time in, absolutely. That's the number one opportunity, is to go build off Amazon, to start generating sales that way and building it much bigger, building their own audience, building their own audience, building their own following, an email list, and expanding that way.
Rob, thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Absolutely, Jake. Thank you for having me.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.